you just can't, I don't think you can imagine how wet it is out here. Uh, we got, there's only a little spot here that's really, really, it ain't even dry enough to till. But I'm doing it anyways. I'll just show you what I got down here. Um, we just had so much rain the last like 3 or 4 weeks. It's been something. Ooh, goodness. So here's how wet and muddy it is. It's just where the tractor came through the first time. I had to put it down in low 1, and but if you just take a look over here, that ain't supposed to be like that. That's not a pond. That's where the road goes around the garden. There is a pond over here, right there. That is a pond. But this is just where it's overflowed out of the pond. Where the pond is just full. And this dirt is wet and soupy. But you know, I'm trying to get a little spot done so that we can put a bean in. Let me get this done. I'll take y'all over here. We'll take a look at the onions. I am so proud of these onions. I hope they do what I'm expecting. And we got potatoes coming up. Y'all hang out. Other than somewhere in one low, it just ain't gonna happen. I mean, look at that. I just backed into that spot. Look, Lord, it's a wonder I didn't get that tractor stuck in there. Oh, thank you, Jesus. So I got that one strip right there. I'll have to go down to the other end and till back this direction, because I can't turn it around right there. You know what? That strip's gonna wait. I ain't gonna risk it. I got it out of there. I ain't gonna risk getting it stuck. This is gonna have to dry. That right there's got to dry. Okay. Go take a look at onions. I tell you, we planted these, I believe it was around December the 15th, because it was right before we went to Kansas for Christmas. And was it? Yeah, it was right before we went to Kansas for Christmas. So that was around the 15th. And then the rain started, and it rained and rained and rained. Onions don't really like wet feet at all. And so I just did the best I could. I kept them fertilized every 2 weeks. I put ammonium sulfate on them. And they've started their bulbing phase now, and they are looking pretty. So here we are. If you take a look, so a couple of weeks ago, with all that rain that we had, the tops were just kind of laying down because they were so saturated with water. They had so much water in them. It was like this. You see how that's bent over like that? That's just because the top is so heavy with water. But, they are looking really, really good. They are definitely starting to bulb. Looky here, folks. That's beautiful. So what's happening right now is the onion is all the carbohydrates that it's generating through photosynthesis. It's sending to the bulb because it's getting ready to go dormant. So what it wants to do is it wants to create a bulb as large as possible, so that see how that's cracking right there? That tells us that it's bulbing. So what it's trying to do right now is it's trying to create a big old bulb, right? Because it wants to go dormant so that it could sit here for a year, and then when it comes out next year, it'll create a seed head. An onion is biannual, so every 2 years it produces seed. That's pretty cool stuff. Looky here, looky here. That's pretty. That's pretty. Let's see. There's one that's pretty close together. Let's snatch that out of the ground. Oh yeah, come on now. Yeah. See? We're making a bulb. So they are pretty as can be. Let's see how that tastes. That's nice. Sweet. Got a little bit of pepper to it. If you use ammonium sulfate, onions require sulfur to get that peppery taste to it. Man. That's a good onion. Last year my onions didn't do too good. It's just hard to water a big spot like this. I don't have what I need as far as irrigation goes. I'd love to be able to put drip irrigation out here. I just haven't taken the time, one, and I haven't spent the money, number two. Because that's all it's going to take is just time and money. Time and money, you could get just about anything done. But, the Lord blessed me this year with plenty of water. So the onions look good. We'll be picking these in about 30 days. We'll see how they look. This section of this big garden, I hope you can hear me. I don't know if you can. But between that sprinkler head and this sprinkler head, this section here, I was going to kind of prep today for corn, but I just don't know that I am worried that it might be too wet. Let's see. Now it feels pretty good here. The biggie is going to be right down here, where this pond is. Let's see what we got. That's pretty boggy. I'm just afraid if I get the tractor down here. See that water moving? Yeah, right here. I think if I get the tractor right here, it's probably going to get stuck. That's water. All right. Maybe I could work this section over here. Maybe. I've been asked several times, why do I put in so much effort to growing a potato, growing a cabbage, growing a rutabaga, whatever it is? Why do you do that? I think it's like this. Ecclesiastes 7:8 says, says the end is greater than the beginning. And so I think that's a real nice representation of what gardening is. You know, it's hard work in the beginning, preparing the soil, making sure you have good soil before you plant your seed. And then when you get a harvest, man, there's nothing like that. You know, we're talking about feeding yourself, feeding your family, and not having to accept what somebody else says is good enough for me. You know, I could go and say, that's not good enough. I could do better. You know, if there's something in your life that you think you can do better, man, come on with it. Let's do it. Let me encourage you. Them potatoes look a whole lot better. Now that I put a little bit of fertilizer on them, I came down through here with that tiller and I just kind of tilled those weeds. You know, the more you can knock down the weed pressure next to your plants, you know, like, let's take a look at that. See that weed right there? Man, it would rob everything it possibly could from that potato. But I said no. You know, weeds will rob nutrients from your crop. You know, I was just talking about weeds stealing nutrients from our soil. You know, there's a life lesson in that, insofar as, you know, there's people in our lives that are just like weeds. And man, they are stealing our joy. And what we need to do is just pluck them and turn them into the soil. Man, I hope that talked to you. Ooh, Lord. Let's get rid of the weeds.